Hello, everyone, and welcome again to a webinar from Finest Future in Finland. And undoubtedly, most of our webinar guests have come from some other countries than Finland. So I wish you have a equally splendid sunny day that we have in Finland currently. It's the end of the summer. Perfect opportunity to talk about job opportunities in Finland. I will briefly go over who we are and what the next 55 minutes-ish time will consist of. My name is Jani Vaalima. I'm the head of sales and marketing at Finest Future. And from Finest Future, we have also with us Tammy, who is like co-host. Say hi, Tammy, on the chat. Her microphone is broken, but we'll just have to, you have to just believe that there's a Tammy with us. And also Tino, Finest Future student in Finland, is going to talk about job, working in Finland. So Tino, maybe you can also say hello at this point. Oh, you're muted, Tino. Oh, maybe Tammy muted, but Tino is here. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I can speak now. Oh, hi everyone. My name is Tino, and I'm one of the speakers today.
Yeah, thank you, Tino. I've met Tino a few occasions with Finest Future events here in Finland, and it's great to also see that Tino is here to talk about what is working in Finland like for students. Briefly, I will go over what Finest Future is, because undoubtedly many won't know what we are doing, why we exist, and what is our aim. And then we are going over briefly that what is Finland, where is Finland, and that too might come as a big surprise, that where we are in the world and what Finland is like known from and stuff like that. And then we are going to jump into the topic. Sorry, the topics that I just like mentioned already, like working while studying, and then upcoming event. I'm gonna reveal that what the next topic will be for the webinar. So be sure to sign into that webinar also. Then it's the Q&A session. So if you get questions that or something that you want to ask during the webinar, write them down now, not now, during the webinar, because you might not remember them at the end. So let's keep it loose, let's keep it easy going, and let's get started. Finest Future. Finest Future is a part of our founders' will and desire to bring the talented people all around the world into Finland, to provide them to enable them to have an opportunity to go into studies in Finland. And if you do it in Finnish language, it's gonna be free. The tuition is like tuition free. And this is basically because Finland is running out of people, and people around the world are looking for like better options for their lives, careers, and everything like in between. So we are connecting people's desires and Finland need for students, because we are running out of people in Finland. Simple fact. Finest Bay Area. Finest Bay Area is another like thing that one of our founders, Mr. Peter Westerbacka, is championing, and it's part of the whole mission of getting the talent into Finland and building this community of Finest Bay Area, which consists, as you can see, like Sweden, Estonia, and Finland, the triangle that will form in the future, like this Silicon Valley 2.0, like the best area to work in, the best area to study in, work in, and then live in. So that is sort of what we're doing. And Finland, what is Finland? Well, basically Finland in the Bay Area is like best education, freedom, like democracy and safety, cleanliness, equality, and happiest nation. Like 6th time in a row, Finland has been chosen as the happiest nation in the world. And these are like the things that if you go to Google and put them into like the Google, like safety and stuff like that. So Finland will undoubtedly like be there, and this is unbiased opinion. Oh, Tino has something. Do you have a hand up?
I think Tammy said that you're saying in the wrong tab, if I'm not wrong.
Am I sharing the wrong tab? Like, does it show like what are we working on now?
I'm not sure because she said that you're sharing. Yes, the slide are not moving.
Okie doke. It shows to me that I'm sharing the absolutely correct one. One moment. One moment. Technical wonders. Technical wonders. Okay, let's go back a bit. Okay, maybe now. Okay, you're still in countdown video. All right, that works well. Stop sharing again. It's never a good idea to update the program before like you're making a video. Can you see anything now? Maybe in the chat. Okay. Technical wonders. There's a reason why I don't work in IT, and I always go call the professionals who are in IT. Anyway, let's go forward. Did the slide change into these fact boxes? I'm waiting for a thumbs up so that I know that everything is well. Okay, doke. So the Finland, what it is basically is like education, freedom, safety and cleanliness and equality and happiest nation in the world, 6th time in a row. And these are the basic building blocks what Finland is all about. And if you go to like any search engine and put like Finland and cleanliness, there will be like millions of pages that tell that World Health Organization ranks our air quality like best in the world and stuff like that. So these are not just something that we come up with here in Finnish Future with our desire to also market Finland into the world. So what are we working on now? Basically what Finnish Future does is educate, teach students all around the world the Finnish language, so that they can then apply into a Finnish high school or vocational school. And when they do it in Finnish, when they study in the Finnish language, it will be tuition free. And the level of Finnish education is absolutely the best, top quality in the world. So these are like very fine reasons also to come into Finland. And like our founder, one of founders say, Mr. Westerbacka, that come for the education, stay for life, because we want to support you to build your own life in Finland. And also like, there's too much text. Okay, yeah, the Finnish Future is like supporting creativity and entrepreneurship and stuff like that. So we will connect these sort of topics also for the students. And in Finland generally, like the startup communities and starting on companies is very much supported, because the business needs to evolve, and in order to do that, we need new kind of ideas, new people to bring the next step, because things need to evolve and become better than they were. And about Finland, where we are in northern Scandinavia, or actually the Nordics, and our neighboring countries are Sweden and Norway, usually like our closest neighbors that share most similarities with Finland. And unlike possibly the country where you are joining the meeting or the webinar, Finland has the distinction. The first thing that what you notice when you come here is like we have 4 seasons. which means that there's spring, summer, autumn, and winter, and these are very clearly distinct, different kind of environment. So if you come here from somewhere warm, it's gonna be cold in winter, but only on the outside. Finnish houses are very good and very warm, and we know how to dress up for the winter. The country is known also as the land of 1,000 lakes, but in reality we have like 200,000 lakes, which is like a lot of lakes, a lot of waters. And in Finland, there's like this every man's right that you can like pretty much go fish anywhere. And our waters are like cleanest in the world also. It was mentioned in the slide up above. More than 75% of Finland is covered in forests, which means that we have lots of forests and places to calm down and tone down or study, like focus on studies. You can go to the forest and have an absolutely great place to focus in. And of course, the fact that one thing that maybe everyone knows about Finland is that Santa Claus, of course, is from Finland. He lives in our northernmost region called Lapland. So where there is always like winter, sorry, not winter, but Christmas in some way or another. Then, did I get snow? Okay, working in Finland, our main topic. Sorry if we are a bit late. Finnish work culture, all countries in the world share some things regarding working life, but also a lot of countries have like different things that distinct themselves from another. For instance, in Finland, something called siesta, the resting time during the day, like working hours, we don't have that. So when the Finns travel abroad into a country that has like a siesta thing going on and shops close, that's very weird to us Finns. Usually Finnish companies are like flat hierarchies, meaning that people can talk like to each other, no matter if they are like the very like in the top, like in the hierarchy in the company, even though they are like flat hierarchies, they listen to all employees who are like janitors or something like that, because they bring unique views on the job that they do, and they can have like absolutely great benefits for the company to have a new kind of development of the way they do things in the company. And Finns, we don't overwork, like that's not in our culture. Of course, some are quite a bit of like work maniacs and they like to work, maybe a bit too much, but we are very well taken care of usually in companies, that they are departments that ensure that people do not work too much and they can rest and have free time and also compensated like as they should. And in our previous webinars, which are recorded, there was this topic like, what are Finns like? One thing was that we don't talk about different things. Oh, someone drew art on the screen. Was it myself? We don't say stuff that we don't mean. So in the working environment, usually like say what you mean, that is absolutely the way to go. Don't talk like things that you don't mean. And better pro, that's something that is very much supported, because even if you're like in far with a career, like 10 years you've been like a mechanic, you can absolutely educate yourself and change the profession. That happens every time, every day, every week in Finland. Someone doing something might change entirely what they have been doing for the past 5 years or 15 years. So that is absolutely a possibility. And then working while studying, like I said, when Finnish future students come into Finland, there is when they have their residency permit, that's more towards studying. And in order for the studies to be successful, there is a limit at how many hours a week a student can work. So that is 30 hours per week. And a lot of Finnish future students are working. They have like, they get money. Money is a good thing also in life, but they can like work on the weekends, they can work afternoons, and it doesn't matter if you're like working some week less and some week more. Just that when you look at the past year, your weekly working hours are averaging in 30 hours per week. And of course, there's a minimum wage thing in Finland, not like some countries might not have these things, but we ensure that the work that's being done, it's usually people will get paid for it. There's no such thing as like free work in Finland. That is by law, and it becomes a huge thing if there's someone is doing wrong with this in this regard. Working language. This very much cuts into like understanding Finnish language. It's important, but English works, but it's actually like you will be enormously more successful if you understand Finnish. And for the Finnish future students, that's a good thing, that you by default, when you are entering the working market, you understand Finnish language. And Finnish Future membership is something that we offer to our students who are in our programs, either like in vocational or high school program. The membership is when Finnish Future, like myself, go into a city and talk to the city mayors and company CEOs and people like that. We are telling that, okay, we are bringing fantastic people into Finland. You should like consider hiring them when they are a bit further in their studies, and then when they are entering like the working life full day. So that is something that we will every time that we get information like from cities that, okay, there are these opportunities, we will send to our own network of students this information. But in addition to that, there are many work portals in Finland that have like lots of jobs there. And if you want to hear numbers, we have something like we lack like 50,000 employees on a yearly base. Like we have 50,000 jobs in Finland every year that lacks people, that we don't have enough people in Finland. But you have to consider that some job might be in the northern region, like where Santa Claus live, Lapland. Some jobs are in Helsinki, which is our capital. Some jobs might be somewhere in between, like smaller towns and cities, which are our main partners. Our schools usually are in the smaller cities because they especially lack people. The schools especially lack people there. But that's like a good way to understand that there will be also a requirement for jobs in those places. Did I have something else here? Work during studies. We are a bit ahead of schedule, but that's all the better because we can then give more time to the question and answer in the end. Are you ready, Tino, to take on?
Yeah, I think so.
Very good. I will mute myself for a moment.
Okay, so do I start it now?
Yeah, you can like introduce yourself and tell us a bit about what's what.
Yeah. So I think most of everyone knows that my name is Tino, and I'm a second year in high school. I came here last year, so I have an incredible summer. So this summer I got my first job, and it's turned out to be an incredible adventure for me. And I work at a cool community center called Nelia Halls, where the kids and seniors have a class when they come to the camp, and we will organize them to do something. Well, on first day, I felt a mix of excitement and nervous, because it's the first day. But everyone was friendly there. My leader was really nice and kind. They showed me around. They tell me what to do. I was there to help the summer camp for the kids and do some office tasks as well. Uh, the kids were like really amazing. They were really nice. Like every morning we did some stuff like crafting. We play sport. We go around pick some mustic. It's like blueberries and some raspberry in the jungle. They love having me like around, and I love being with them. It didn't feel like work at all for me. Um, I became good
Can I
friend
ask a
with
question? Can I ask a
yeah,
question, Tino? How did you
yeah.
find about the job? Were there many jobs that you were looking into? Like, did you apply for many jobs?
Well, yeah, I applied for like 5 or 6 jobs and I got accepted only 2 jobs in Finland
Mm.
because there's a lot of workers like I mean like students. Uh, okay, can you hear me now like clearly?
Yeah, there's a bit of crackling. Maybe it's the connection.
Yeah,
Or
because
like,
it's raining in my city right now, so I think so.
okay, yeah, okay. So
So
did you? Yeah,
yeah, I
did
have
you
to apply
like?
for it.
Yeah, okay.
I have to
So
apply, sign up for that. For example, I think like all the student, the national student, when they come here, the school will provide them like a form or a paper that if you're interested in summer job and you can start to apply there. You know,
mm, did
yeah,
many like? Did you have many Finnish future students in the school that you are in? Were there many there?
yeah. We have last year we have 17, no, 14 Finnish future students.
Yeah, did some travel home for the summer? You decided to stay here and work. Did others stay here also?
Yeah, yeah, because I'm pretty like interested in summer job and I want to make money.
Mm. Yeah, that helps like during the year. And one very important thing about applying for jobs when you study is that uh, companies will learn about you and they will understand that, okay, this is a good person, and they understand that
Mm-hmm.
the person needs to go back to job, sorry, studies. And then when the
Mm-hmm.
person is like completing or graduating, the companies can
Mm-hmm.
comfortably say that, okay, this is a good person, we can offer him possibly a job immediately, because a lot of students in Finland already find a job when they are working. So that sorry, when they are studying. So that is the usual way how people like make connections and network. They go out, and companies, it's for the businesses, it's risk free to get to know the worker, the employee, that what kind of person this is, and when the person is like graduating, they are like can immediately maybe offer the job for them. But
Yeah.
was how many like how many days did you work during the summer? Was it like every day, or was it like a few weeks?
Well, I actually have 3 jobs. Like the first job I work in like 2 weeks. Like every week I will work for like 5 days a week.
Mm. Do you have like a
And every
job?
day I will work around, sorry?
Sorry. So do you have something
Yeah.
for the fall, for the autumn, like a job waiting already? Like do you mean to look for a job
Uh,
like with your studies?
well, actually I can't, but if you are over 18, then you can look for a job while you're studying. But right now
Mm.
I'm under 18, so I can only work in the
Yeah.
summer.
Yeah, there are like some restrictions regarding these things, like how many hours you can work during the your studies. And also when like if you are above 18 or an adult in Finland and you're like international student, you cannot enter like the working life with the permit that you come into the country with. So you have to apply for a working permit after you finish with Finnish Future program and graduate from school and stuff. If if you are studying a school, sorry. So these sort of like routes are very much supported, because work is also always the aim. It should be the target for your studies, what everyone wants to be when they grow up. So did you find something like difficult in the working, like in Finland, if you know, if you like compare it back home, like where you came from into Finland, like do you know like differences?
Well, I think like I have some small experience working in my country, so I think it's not a big deal for me. But if there's like a biggest problem for me, I think is my Finnish skill. I think it's good to use, but to like speak it fluently, and I don't think not yet. So that's the main
Mm.
problem for me. Yeah,
Yeah, but you will get better with that, so there is not
yeah,
worry with it.
yeah.
Yeah, but do you have something like in your mind, like what kind of jobs would you want next? Do you have like any idea of those? What's coming next for Tino for the job market?
So, for example, this summer I have three jobs. The first one was to teach the kids how to cook, how to play sport, and how to do art. The second job was I was to help my mom selling ice cream and coffee in Helsinki. And
Mm.
the third job was to help the new student that they come to Finland because I need to clean their apartment and become their mentor, like show them
Mm.
around the city. Yeah.
Okay, do you have
Uh,
ideas that what do you want to study when you are looking at universities? Like, are you going to computer sciences or something more active, or do you have like
well,
those?
I'm thinking studying in business or
Mm.
maybe could be something about something I will do in the laboration, like in lab.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and I think that you already might know some companies from that field, so it's
Yeah.
also always a good idea to sort of like put yourself forward and start contacting these that okay, I want to study like this industry, and how do you usually like the companies, what kind of workers or employees they are looking for, and it's always important to show interest. That is the main thing, that when you get yourself, like we say in Finland, it's jalka oven väliin, which means that leg between the door, so that when you are making these connections and you get to know uh, more about the company and what they are actually looking for. Okay, we have a question. Please, could you tell me about the age? Is there age limitations applied to vocational school? Vocational school is like 18 plus. It's basically adults, and there are some like adult high schools also, and they have like different like methods of maintaining their own students, but usually it's like 18 plus, the vocational side, and that's always when people are actively looking to like new kind of job. They might know that Finland has a lot of jobs, so it's traditionally like a vocational um, school age people ask directly that how can they come into Finland and how can they start working in Finland. So usually it's you have to start with Finnish Future, and we have like two programs, which is 12 months online. When you teach, you will learn the Finnish language, and then you can start applying in the school and go from there. Or it can be something like 6 months. There is a new product with Finnish Future called the Fast, which basically is like you study at home online 2 months, and then it's 4 months in Finland. And the 4 months is intensive because you are hearing Finnish always, like in every direction. You are learning it quite a bit faster, and the program is called Fast because it's faster. And this is something that vocational school age people are looking for because they are able to come to Finland. And maybe some students, younger students might have responsibilities at home or their studies back at home, which they need to finish before coming into Finland. and they cannot join the fast program, but obviously for them, the 12 months online, that's how it goes. I think that salary is something that usually Finns are very like polite, and we don't talk publicly about salaries. It's like our personal information. So that is like, you need to take that from this meeting also, like the Finnish habits. We have to be sort of hygienic about certain things. But like I mentioned in the brief in the beginning, there is like basic minimum salaries like from 9 to 13 euros an hour. So that is something. Admission process. Okay, we have a bunch of questions. Probably we could go bite into this one. I need to open up the window a bit more. A lot of questions. The admission process from high school to university in Finland. What are the admission methods? They are like, usually they are exams, especially when they are like very sought after high schools. They look at your report card, your last like certificate you got from the school, and they give you amount of points based on that. And then they might also have exam, and people are ranked like, if you do good on the exam, then you are like, you can possibly get in. But sometimes there's like so many students that only like a percentage will get into the school. What kind of university studies there are in Finland? Basically, we have everything, and there isn't probably a field of study that we wouldn't have a school in Finland, because the education system in Finland is one of the best in the world, and that's like our pride and joy. And we make sure that every industry is equally represented. Some are more popular, of course, but that's just life. But then like applied sciences, for sure, like different subcategories, like endless possibilities. And generally, when I was talking a bit earlier about the startup communities, there might not even be an industry for something that you're studying, because we are creating something new. Schools have very like groundbreaking classes or lessons that are exploring, that are encouraging people to come up with something very, very new. And that's the exciting part of in the academic world too. Things to keep in mind for high school students from the very beginning about grades and necessary certificates to ensure. I'm not, maybe I need to read that again in a bit, but I will jump to the next question. Assess the difference between knowing Finnish and only knowing English and job opportunities in Finland, neighboring markets as Sweden. Okay, well, one thing, Finland has basically two official languages, Finnish and Swedish, and something like 300,000 people were like bilingual. And this means that they might be of the Swedish descendant, and they might be like mainly using Swedish, but they know Finnish. And these regions are mostly like in the coastal areas next to Sweden. That's kind of logical. So Helsinki, which is our capital, a lot of like Swedish-speaking people are there, and the job opportunities. I've worked in a lot of companies where like English is the main working language, because we have so many people from different cultures, and it might be that some people talk Swedish there, but then when they understand that someone is in the same room that they don't understand Swedish at all, and then they will switch to English, or if they know Finnish, then they will comfortably switch to Finnish. So the language thing is very much here, like, because people are very educated, and we have quite well manners in Finland regarding like the language thing, which means that when a person is in the space that close to you, and you're like talking Finnish together, and when someone like who doesn't understand Finnish comes into it, people usually switch to English, because it's just polite. And it's very much the same in like Denmark, Norway, and all the Nordic regions, excuse me, which we consider like our brother or sister countries. High career opportunities in Finland. Hospice, like healthcare, that is obviously up there. We need like construction workers and especially plumbers and all kinds of like all jobs are pretty much like there is like a vacancy, a lot of like fields of industry, and you can go to Google and put there like the most like free or like jobs with most vacancies in Finland, like or like how do you say, the industries with most vacancies in Finland regarding jobs. You will usually get a list about like hospice or like healthcare for sure. That is way up there. Finnish and English language requirements when applying for a job. Well, different jobs might emphasize on different things, and for instance, that it might be important for a company that some employee only understands like English or understands Finnish. They might not necessarily like require that you use it in your daily work, but it's good to have these questions when you are coming here and you see an interesting company, an interesting like job description. Always have questions like, how do you consider these things? Because then you are marketing yourself into the company, and the company understands, oh, this person is really interested. We should get interested of him or her. So you have to like involve yourself into the process. But there is not like general rule about how this goes, like the Finnish or English, but usually we require that you are able to sort of like speak and write both and understand, of course, both languages. And Swedish also is a plus. Usually Swedish is a plus. Average income when working. This, of course, varies. It goes from like around like 2,500 euros. I think it was the last like average, which if I remember correctly reading, or something like 3,000 euros. Of course, the job and the amount of work you do, you know, facilitates a lot into your results. What is your living level or like quality in Finland? But generally, we have there are no jobs in Finland where you are working and you feel like you're not getting anything out of it. And it's just like jobs are different, people are different, and the general income, like average income depends greatly. And some people like they might consider that maybe plumber would be like easy job or not so valued job. But I know people who are like plumbers and make something like 7,000 euros because they work so much. They take so many like job orders, and they do such a good work that they are really they are really able to like work a lot and enjoy the benefits thereof. How to access recruitment information in Finland. The recruitment, like from companies, there are many job boards, and I think that these are, if you go to your search engine, you'll be like put their Finland job, Finland working in Finland or something like that. You will get places. I think that I won't mention anything here because there are like at least like 10 different like these search engines or like these forums which list jobs, and you can filter them by industry and expertise level and stuff like that. There are many opportunities, but also depending of what kind of industry you are, you might want to check up LinkedIn, which is very good. And usually people who are like apply for jobs in LinkedIn, it's kind of like marketing yourself if you have a LinkedIn profile, but some jobs might not require a LinkedIn profile. But if you are like information technology, that's of course the #1 place to be. Okay, actually, I need to check the timetable if we are falling behind. Maybe a bit. I'm already like in the question and answer period, but I'm gonna jump ahead. There's so many questions. How can one join the FAST program? Okay, you can send an email to hello@finishfuture.org. Maybe Tammy can write the email address there, and then we will contact you, give us your information, and then we have some questions for you, and then we will like give you the easiest and best solution for your situation. FAST program is around it's around 6,500 euros for the whole year. And I think that, yeah, it was something around that. And basically you can either like do one payment or like monthly, depending like what your situation is. Okay, where can we find the vocational school list that we can apply for? Usually, like most of our a bit bigger cities have vocational schools. So I'm not sure if there is actually like a master list anywhere, but if you like different, you can go to the internet, of course, again, and type like the industry that you want to work in, and then like vocational school and Finland. And usually when these things click, you will get an answer, and then you can filter out that which city it is in and what is the, how many students do they usually have, see a bit pictures like what's the school is like and what kind of companies is near the city. So it makes sense to also like think about also the work thing, that when you find a vocational school, check what kind of companies and businesses are also in the same city, because if you go with start like learn the Finnish language with Finnish Future, and then you come into Finland and start the studies here, and during that studies you already need to or should contact the companies and say, I'm interested in working for you, please consider me when you have anything available. And usually companies are easy to get to and answer the emails and get in contact, because we need people. I will jump again. Or actually, the one question that I didn't understand, I think so. There are some certificates which are needed when you are applying for Finnish high schools, and that's usually like the diploma that we need for you to have finished your education back home. So it cannot be left like middle. You cannot just leave. So you have to finish your education so that you can enter high school here in Finland. And they don't care about grades. Usually the process is that when you finish our program, you get a certain level of Finnish that enables you to start applying for schools. And then you can grade your, like, this is my first that I want to go to, this is the second, this is the third. And when like the schools get interested, the principals will interview you. And usually they evaluate your, of course, Finnish language, but they also evaluate how social you are, how like well you are presenting yourself and your dreams and your whatever like desires to come to Finland and stuff like that. And then the principals and the schools make the decisions that who gets into a school and who might not get into this school, but they will probably get into the next school. So Finnish Future doesn't really have like any say in this, and this is how how it needs to be, so that all the decisions regarding like who gets accepted into schools are made by the schools by themselves. But the situation in Finland is that schools need enormous amount of students. That's just the fact of life. So Finnish Future enables you to have the best opportunity to get into school in Finland by learning the Finnish language. And this is like, this is our mission. Come for the education, stay for life, like our Peter Westerbacher really says. But we are closing to the end time. There are a lot of questions. Unfortunately, I cannot answer all of them because we would be here like hours and hours. But go to finishfuture.org and you can find information about high schools or vocational schools there and what we are all about. And if you are ready to like have a decision like made regarding starting to learn Finnish, definitely write an email to hello@finishfuture.org and tell a bit about what your situation is, what would you want. Then we will get in contact, and then we would have like a best solution for you. Few words about the next webinar. We have these webinars, I think, 2 or 3 weeks between between 2 and 3 weeks. And the next one is how easy it is to learn Finnish. Finnish is, of course, an easy language because especially when you come into Finland, you hear it from all the directions. But it's also a challenging language because it's quite unlike some other languages like which you might have heard from your home city, like English or English. Well, that's an easy answer there. But we have already like students who are in our FAST program, which I mentioned. They have studied only 2 months online. And when they came to Finland and I spoke to the girls here, like it was like a group of girls that I interviewed, they already spoke so good Finnish that I was kind of like astonished, and I was really happy about our teachers, the quality of the teachings that our teachers do or give during our sessions. So that is something that was very, very nice to see. And join us in the next webinar in a few weeks, and then we will talk some Finnish there. Siellä puhutaan vähän suomea, jotta kaikille tulisi paljon kysymyksiä, että mitä sä just sanoit. There was a little example how Finnish might sound, and you can like probably we could have like a teacher there also to give you like a sample of what the lessons or the sessions usually are, how it goes. So also check our website. There's much information there. Tino, did you have something in your mind that you wanted to say still, or is it like an hour's work done? Oh, you're muted.
I mean, like today, I think last Monday was my last day working. So now my school just started today, so I think I don't have any job like more. But maybe I could go to my mom coffee store or food truck to help her.
Yeah, I think that's good because the end game, of course, is that when you come into Finland and learn the language, it's like you find your dream jobs. Like you might not find the dream job immediately, but that's just how life is. And usually when you talk about people, there are very, very few people who immediately from very young know what they want to do in life. People usually find like, oh, this is amazing. This is what I want to do. And that's life. But it's good to have plans when you study so that you are already like thinking 5 years ahead, 15 years ahead. What's coming ahead? So I look forward to talking with, of course, I will meet Tino many times, like close future, but it would be interesting to talk with Tino like in 10 years or 15 years and see that what kind of job or career have you found. So you might become a a cafeteria, entrepreneur. Maybe you will like compete with your mother and you are like in the same city with her. Who knows?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone, for joining the webinar. Join us again in a few weeks. We will have different guests there. Thank you, Tino. Thank you, Tino, so much for coming here. See you, everyone.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.